In the first session, I have taken you through the basics of decision making in terms of what types of questions come, how many types of questions have come in the last 5 years. We have done a very detailed analysis. We have seen what nature of questions come, what are the most important types of questions. We have discussed all those in the previous session. So those of you who are watching this session as the first class, you have not attended the previous session of mine, I would highly recommend that after this session you go back and watch the video there, because there I have given a complete idea about the type of questions that can come, and basically I also spoke about what is the nature of the questions that come over there. Okay, so that's what basically happened in the previous session. Today we are going to continue that. I have a few more questions for you. So let's start by understanding the type of questions that come and how do we go about solving these questions. So here I am. Okay, so this we have already discussed what happened in XAT 18, XAT 19, XAT 20. By the way, XAT 23, don't worry, this is not, when I say XAT 23, it happened in January of 2023. So your XAT will be called XAT 24. So don't worry, it's not yet over. But yeah, this is basically what happened. We have discussed this in detail last year. So let's not worry about that. Now, I already mentioned these few pointers. Again, it's a repetition. Practice such questions to decide your strength. Again, you should know, depending upon the type of question, is it an HR question, is it a calculation based question, is it a socio-political question? You need to understand the types of questions, and based on that you should pick, because there are a lot of questions, 21 to 22 questions, and you need to solve around 15-16 so that you can get a cutoff of about 9 marks. So you will have 2-3 sets that you can easily leave. 2 sets you can leave. So you can decide which 2 to leave based on what is your weak area. Okay. Right. So do not get into them if you are weak at it. As I said, that's basically anyway what's supposed to happen. Okay, let's move on. Let's practice a few questions. This is the first passage in front of you. I'm going to give you a minute and a half to read through these things and note down few points. Okay, it's a very interesting passage. The first one, please read and understand. Okay, so I'm assuming that okay, I have got a couple of questions. Creative Kida, nice name, is basically asking, sir, from where can we get more decision making questions? My friend, decision making has been there in XAT since age immemorial. So if you go back as 2007, 2008, 2009, decision making was there. So XAT original question papers themselves are a ton of, it's a huge resource for you. So don't try to search for new decision making questions. I would ideally say, please go back to the actual XAT question papers, going back to 2008, 2009, 2010 onwards. It's a ton of material for you. If you want more, please keep attending our sessions on BYJU'S. We will get you a lot more sessions for you. Okay, so please be in tune with our channel, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon, because whenever we have these questions coming to you, whenever we have these sessions coming to you, you will get a notification. All right, anyway, so this is what we have. Shekhar, an MBA from Singapore, returned to his hometown, Jamshedpur. That has a population of about 10 lakhs, blah blah blah. All that is not really required. The most important part is the premises require 1200 square feet, space, and the investment of 30 lakhs. Profits are to be shared in the ratio of 3:7 between Music World and the franchisee. And the partner sales are about 1 to 2 lakhs per month, with the profit margin ranging from 25 to 30%. Okay. Now he has 3 places that he wants to survey. One is Bistupur. Then we have basically it's a high-end retail format. Basically it's a place where more of the uptown people go there, the affluent people go there to shop. Then we have most upper middle class and higher class customers shop there. That's what is mentioned. It is also the educational hub of the city, so all the youngsters are going to be there. On the other hand, Sakchi was a growing lower middle class business area. It's growing, but it's a lower middle class area. So income levels are of that lower middle class level. And Sunari had mostly residential population. Now, typically when you say residential population, you're talking about elders who are there, settled there for some time. They might have kids, but most of the elderly population, that's what you're talking about. Shekhar was in favor of choosing Bistupur as it was the place where he shopped. Remember, it is clearly mentioned that the reason why he is favoring Bistupur is because he shops there. However, he soon stumbles across problems. Not only it was difficult to obtain space in Bistupur, but property rentals in Bistupur touches 30 to 40 rupees per square feet per month. Whereas in Sakchi and Sonari it is very less. Comparatively, it is 15 to 20 rupees per square feet. Also, Shekhar's friend who stays in Sakchi told him that a few branded outlets were opening in Sakchi, and it seemed to be the fastest growing market in Jamshedpur with the highest ratio of teenagers. But Shekhar was not in favor of Sakchi due to its low image. Okay. Then finally he expected to target the growing crowd in Bistupur. High real estate prices in Bistupur and his low assessment of Sakchi market created confusion in Shekhar's mind. To give the decision some serious and fresh thought, he decided to hit the Jamshedpur-Ranchi highway in his newly acquired car. So this is the story for you. Let's look at the first question. So here's the first question. Take 1.5 minutes. I'm going to give you 90 seconds to come up with an answer. So you have to use all the information that has been given to you till now. Okay. So this is the question. Okay, I have a few more questions. Pranav says, does GK marks make count in overall percentile in XAT? Pranav, GK does not add to the overall percentile in XAT. Okay, GK marks are not considered in cutoffs for your XAT exam. Make it very clear. Okay, next we have, it is showing that you don't have essential subscription for it. What shall be done? Creative Keda, for which exam are you talking about? XAT exam? Are the admit cards already out? I don't think so. We'll see. I'm not too sure what exactly does that mean. Okay. So here we have, let's take a look at the question, what is happening here. So I will just change this so that you understand what is happening, and I will have a drawing option in front of me. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So suppose sales in Patna and Bistupur are likely to be same, which means 1 to 2 lakhs with 25 to 30% profit. So let's take a look at it. Worst case scenario. What is worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is 1 lakh 25% profit. That is, he is going to get 25k, right? Profit. Best case scenario. Best case scenario is 2 lakhs 30% profit, which is 60k. Okay, so this is what is happening. Now, whichever case it is, the ratio is 3:7. So 3 for the brand and 7 for the franchisee. So into 70% into 0.7. So this is 42k, and this is 25 into 7. It is 17.5k. 17.5k. 7 plus 35, so it is 14, 17. Okay. Now let's look at it. He can make profits finally from 17.5k to 42k. Now he has to pay rent. How much is the rent? Rent is from 30 to 40 rupees. And 1200 square feet is fixed, which means it can be anywhere from 36,000 to 48,000. So if that is the case, he might not even end up making any profit. He might not even end up making any profit. He can only make profit if the rent is the least and the profit is the best. Then he'll start making some profit. But if the profit is not the best case scenario and the rent is slightly on the higher side, he will never recover his money of 30 lakhs, because this profit, the extra money, so this 36,000 minus this 17,500, or rather the other way around, this is your revenue minus your rent. Whatever is the left out amount, that only is your profit, and that is not going to happen if your rent is high and your profits are less. Therefore, the answer is maybe never. Clear? So let's move on to the next question. So here's the second question. Now there's no calculation involved in this, so I'll just keep my stylus away. Let's go ahead and take a look at what could be the possible answer here. Here I'll just give you 1 minute because there's no calculation involved. Go ahead and give me an answer. Kushal says, sir, overall at least how many questions to attempt in XAT? Kushal, I would say normally in decision making for XAT, you are talking about XAT exam full or only decision making? Decision making 9.5 net marks after taking out negatives. That is a good score. 9.5, 9 to 9.5. Anything more than that is a bonus for you. Okay, but if you're talking about overall XAT, I would probably say 37, 38 marks depending upon the paper. It's a difficult paper, even 33, 34 marks are good enough. If it is a easy paper, then probably it can go up to 39 marks, 40 marks also. Okay. Okay, let's go and take a look at this. What would be the most likely reason for Shekhar's bias in favor of Bistupur? Now, presence of college crowd as he felt they were customers for the latest music. Crowded image of Sakshi. See, remember, clearly B is wrong. Why is option B wrong? Because it is not talking anything about Bistupur. It is talking about why Sakshi is bad. But there are three cities. If Sakshi is bad, there is another city still there, another town which is still there. So, because something is bad does not mean the other one is good. So, your answer should directly relate to why Bistupur is good. So, B is gone. Now, D, higher rentals of Bistupur is a negative. Why will it be the reason why he wants to go? The reason should be positive. So, D is gone. So, B and D both are gone. E, patronage of Bistupur shops by executives and their family could be a possibility. C, it was difficult for Shekhar to associate non-Bistupur areas with good quality products. This could also be a reason. And A, presence of college going crowd as he felt they were customers for the latest music. So let's go back and take a look at what was mentioned here. Shekhar was in favor of choosing Bistupur as it was the place where he shopped. It is clearly mentioned that it is the place where he shopped, so it is he is favoring Bistupur because of his shopping patterns, and therefore he thinks that look, if people like me are shopping there, then that is the right kind of a crowd that I would like to target. So the answer here should be based on the shopping. So the answer option will turn out to be option E. E for elephant, because patronage of Bistupur shops by executives and their family, that is his target crowd. Okay, has it been mentioned anywhere what is the target crowd, by the way? No, nothing else is mentioned, right? So yes, that E answer, option E has to be the answer. Okay, second one is not C. It is not C. It is going to be E. Okay, moving on. Third question. Now there is a confusion in his mind. How should Shekhar resolve this confusion? Simple. Anshu, you can skip total of 8 questions in XAT without any negative marks. 9th question onwards there will be negative marking. Be careful about it. Okay, so what is the answer here? This is actually a straightforward answer. When you are in doubt about this or that, you should be doing a further analysis, further in-depth analysis. Just because you're in doubt does not mean that you leave. Just because in doubt, it does not mean that you completely dump the plan. So when you're in doubt, you're supposed to dive deeper. Therefore, the correct answer is going to be D. D, this is simple. Everybody would have got the correct answer. Last question. How best should Shaker resolve his confusion? So what is the answer here? This is also not a difficult question. It is, I would say, a moderate level question. But there are one or two tricky options which can confuse you. Let's see if you can bypass these traps and give the correct answer. Yes, guys, what is the answer? So, see, what is the main problem for him? The main problem for him is his profit margin is less compared to the rent he's paying. See, rent cannot be changed. That is the price of the area. However, what can change? What can change is the future growth of sales. Today, if it is 1 or 2 lakhs, can it become in the next 2-3 years 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs per month? Because the rent will not grow by that much. Rent will grow by typically 7%, 8%, 9%. But if the revenue can grow by, let's say, 30%, 40% year on year, or 50% year on year for the next 3 years or 4 years, it means you're talking about 200 to 300% increase over 4 years. So that 1 or 2, can it become 4 lakhs or 5 lakhs or 5 lakhs and 6 lakhs? Because your rent will remain the same, but your profits will go up drastically. That is what you need to look at. So the answer is option C, future market growth. Is this clear? Is this clear? Why not real estate prices? Because even if the real estate prices are the same, you're not going to make money in the same revenue. However, even if the real estate prices are increasing, if the revenue grows, the business grows, you can end up making profits. So if I know for sure that my estimate is over the next 3 years that this 1 to 2 lakhs can become 5 to 6 lakhs. So even right now, if I'm making a profit, making a loss, I'm okay with it because I am running my business for the future potential that it has. That is the reason why D and E are both ruled out, because even if I'm making losses for the first 2 years, but if I know that I can make great profits over the next 10 years, 5 years, great. I don't mind taking up the first 2 years losses. Clear? Okay. Alright guys, so we have the second passage. Again, it's a kind of a story of what happened to Air India and Jet Airways few years back. So here's the story, read and then we will take it forward. Ansh Agarwal, what is your query? Ansh, I already answered your query, my friend. You can leave 8 questions in XAT without any negative marking. After 8, from the 9th question onwards, you will start getting negative marking. Clear? Neeraj, Yes, real estate prices are being compared, but we already know the price of the real estate. So what more consideration do you want? Even if, okay, let us say I tell you that, look, the real estate price will be like this only. How will that change my decision? My decision is already, it basically is making me a loss today. And you're going to tell me that tomorrow, day after tomorrow, everywhere it's going to make a loss. Compare that with the second scenario where you're going to get that information saying that the growth is 60%, 70%. Now tell me, will the real estate prices change 60-70% year on year? I don't think so. Even if you take an assumption, it cannot be more than 10-12% of real estate changes. Whereas if I know for sure that my real estate, the revenue can grow by 50-60%, I can definitely start making profits from the second year or the third year. So what is more important to me? More important to me is the future growth of the business. So I'm not saying real estate price is not important. The question is, which is more important? Guys, all these questions. All right. So, sorry, I had to, there's a small technical issue. So, right. So, all these questions are looking at what is the best possible answer. So, I'm not saying real estate prices are not important. Of course, they are important. But compared to them, the revenue is more important. Is that clear, Ansh? Brinda, don't worry. I think there is a small error. There is a small error in terms of the XAT admit card. So I think they will resolve it very, very soon. Okay. Hold on for a day. Don't worry. You still have a lot of time. If there is an error which is happening for many of them, in fact, many of them already mentioned that there is a glitch. Hold on for a day. They'll rectify it and you can slowly download the admit card. Don't worry about it. Okay. So, okay, so where are we now? Now we are talking about Jet Airways. Basically, Jet Airways and Indian Air India are both having problems. Jet Airways is losing almost 2 million a day in daily operational costs. A daily operational loss of 2 million had in fact forced Jet Airways to put its employees on alert. The situation was equally grave for other national carriers, driven by mounting losses of almost 10 crores a day. Air India in its merged avatar was considering severe cost-cutting measures like slashing employee allowances, etc., etc. Now, we are talking about Jet Airways. Air India and other domestic airlines had reasons to get worried as 24 airlines across the world have gone bankrupt on account of rising fuel costs, etc. In India, operating cost has gone up by 30-40% because the fuel cost has gone up. Fuel prices had doubled in the past 1 year to rupees 70 per kiloliter. 70,000 per kiloliter. Kiloliter means 1,000 liters. So basically it's 70 per liter, forcing airlines to increase fares. Consequently, passengers' load had fallen. Obviously, the prices went up. The load will fall down by to an average 55-60% per flight from previous year's peak of 70-75%. Other airlines faced a similar situation. Some were even looking for buyers. Domestic carriers had lost about 4,000 crores in 2007-2008, with Air India leading the pack. As against 27% wage bill globally, our wage bill is 22% of the total input cost. Even then, we are at a loss. That's what Air Indian officials are saying. Civil Aviation Ministry, however, has a different take. The ministry believes that Air India can optimize further, and they've given an example saying that, look, you are sending people there to stay in 5-star hotels, but instead of that, you give them a job there and make them stay there. Therefore, your cost will come down, and it can come down. It would save almost 8 crores a year, and this is the tip of the iceberg, which means there are many such unnecessary costs that are incurred by Air India, and you can cut down on all of them and have savings. Okay, according to analysts, Jet Airways could be looking at a combined annual loss of rupees 3,000 crores if there were no improvements in operational efficiencies and ATF prices. Against this backdrop, the airline has asked its employees to raise the service bar and arrest falling passenger load. This is what is the story given to you. Okay. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the first question. So which of the following are the reasons for Jet Airways not doing well? Clearly remember what you have read and give me the answer options. Let's see what is the correct answer. What are the answers, guys? A, B, C, D, E. Which one is it? Arushi, negative mark is for leaving any 8 questions. It doesn't have to be consecutive. 8 questions, 9th question, anytime you leave, anywhere you leave, it will incur a negative mark. Okay. Okay. So what is the answer here? Very clearly the answer here is option A, 1 and 2 only. Why? Because it is clearly mentioned. If you go back to the passage here, Jet, in the third passage, if you look, Jet Airways, Air India and other domestic airlines had reasons to get worried as 24 airlines, all that is fine. In India, operating costs have gone up because of the fuel price increase. So fuel price is one of the main concerns, right? Which is your option number 1. ATF is aviation turbine fuel, right? So rising ATF prices, ATF is nothing but the fuel. Reduced passenger load. Obviously, when the prices went up, what did they do? They ended up taking the price higher. When you increase the ticket price, the load comes down. Load meaning the number of people who are traveling. Obviously, when the number of people comes down in terms of travel, your revenue will also come down. So that also happened. So both 1 and 2 happened for Jet Airways. However, declining service quality was never mentioned. Declining service quality was never mentioned. I am just saying that your quality should improve. Does not mean that it is declining. I am saying if you are at 90 marks, I am saying get more marks. Does it mean that you got low marks? No, you are already at 90. I can ask you to get 95. So just because this statement, it's mentioned over here, against this backdrop, the last line, the airline has asked its employees to raise the service bar. That raising the service bar does not mean that they are poor right now or it is going down right now. Okay, that is the reason why 3 is not correct. Staff traveling to Dubai is the problem for Air India, not for Jet Airways. The Dubai wala problem came for Air India, not for Jet Airways. Therefore, only 1 and 2, which is option A. Clear? Let's move on. Next question. This is a very interesting question. Let us see how many of you get the correct answer. Any other answers? Anyone? Okay, so let me give you the calculation here. So let me again go back to the drawing board here. Okay, so what are we having here? Total is 10k, 10,000. This is Jet 3,000 and Air India and rest. So rest is Y, Air India is X. So total this plus this plus this is equal to 10,000. This all of you know. So if I get my X, I'll get my Y. How do I get my X? Now you might go back to a couple of slides and then take a look at it, what happens. Just go back here and you can see that Air India is losing 10 crores a day. You can see it here. Air India is losing 10 crores a day, right? Now if you go by that logic and if you calculate that this is the year, this is which year? 2008, right? 2008 is a leap year, please keep in mind, which means 2008 has 366 days. So it loses 10 crores per day So it is losing 3660. So if you say X is 3660 plus 3000, so this total is 6660 plus Y should be equal to 10,000, which means 3340. 3340 should be your answer for Y. However, that is not your answer. Why is that not your answer? Can somebody tell me? Why is that not your answer? Can somebody tell me? What is the reason what is the mistake in this entire thing that we did? Because 3340 is there and everybody will be happy when they got 3340, but that is not your answer. So what went wrong? Some small point you guys have missed. Now the point that is missed, if you're not aware, is the term used for this 3000. This is not 3000. This 10 crores per day. This is operational loss. Operational loss. Whereas the total loss is what we are talking about. Operational loss is different or will be lesser compared to the total loss. The total loss can be more than the operational loss. Operations losses, if I am only considering traveling of a flight from here to there, taking people from here to there, what are involved? The staff who are involved, their salaries, the pilot salary, the fuel salary, the fuel cost, the maintenance cost, only these things if I consider, then there is a loss. However, there are administration people who are not directly involved in this. There is probably a interest cost for me. I have taken a loan, it's a cost of interest that is not considered. All those also, if I consider those expenses, then I will be getting my total loss. Because I don't know what is happening to my total loss, I know only the 10 crores which is an operational loss. That is where the problem lies. So this 3340 is very, very tempting, but that is not your answer. The correct answer is cannot be determined because you only know operationally what is happening. You don't know what is happening on the other front. Therefore, that's your answer. Clear? Alright, moving on. Okay, take a look at this. I think this should be very, very simple because I already gave part of this answer previously. Let's see if you can get the correct answer. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Suppose fuel constitutes 30% of the revenues. Do you think airlines would be in a better situation by reducing prices? Now remember, fuel constitutes 30% of the revenues today. Now when you decrease the prices, what will happen to the number of people who are coming up, the load? Now you know that if you reduce the prices, the load will go up. Great. How much will it go up by? You don't know. Because fuel is only one part of your problem. Fuel is only one part of the problem. There are 2-3 other reasons. The second part of the problem is decrease in load. Yes, to answer that decrease in load, you can decrease the price. If you reduce the price, the number of people will go up. But by how much? How much will it go up by? Also, please remember, when you decrease the cost of the ticket, the fuel cost will be the same. That is not going to change. So for you to understand, I'll just give another example. So if I say the ticket price is 100 and the fuel cost is 30, if I bring this down to 80, remember this will not come down, this will still remain 30, because whether there are 90 people going or 80 people going, my cost of the fuel will be more or less same. Don't worry about that extra 10 kg, 10 people's weight. But normally when you're talking about 10-15% change in the people, the fuel cost will be more or less the same. It will not change by that much. So it will still remain the same. So you'll be making only 50 rupees profit, whereas here you would have made only 70. It's not even profit, it's 70 rupees after the fuel. In this 70 rupees, you'll have other expenses like your manpower, the maintenance cost, the interest cost, everything. So here you have even lesser. So you are getting lesser per person, but the number of people are increasing, but increasing by how much? We have no information on that. Therefore, the answer is data insufficient to reach decision. Clear? All right, let's move on. So quite a few of you have given 7B. Very good, guys. Okay, a very simple question. Read this and we will go on to the next slide. It's a very simple one. I'll give you about 30-40 seconds to read. It's a very interesting one, by the way. Mandar, thanks a lot for your good words, Mandar. I'm glad that my videos, in fact, the entire BYJU'S videos have been able to help you. We will start with MAHCT. If it is not already started, I think we will be starting in the next year. Right now, the plan is to focus on XAT, which is the next big exam. But I think as soon as that is done, we will be starting with MAHCT. Okay, so that's why. Please subscribe to our channel, click on the bell icon, you will start getting notifications for all these exams. Anyway, so now we have a group of 3 barbers who are coming to a verbal agreement saying that, look, we should all charge 100 rupees on weekdays and 115 rupees for weekends. And most important part, this pricing is only for the 3 services currently that they are offering. So the agreement is for weekdays, weekends and 3 services only. That is what the agreement is about. Let's look at the first question and let's see what the answer is going to be here. Tushya, safe score in DM is 9+. 9+ is a good score in DM. 99 percentile in decision making will be around 11-12, I guess. I don't remember exactly, to be very honest. Okay, so what is the answer here? Now please keep in mind, what are the things that you're trying to address here? Following day, Kamal, being the most competent hairdresser on the street, was contemplating charging higher than agreed upon price. Which of the following would enable him to charge more with minimal violation of agreement? First of all, what are the agreement points? The agreement points are 1, 3 services at the rate 3 services at the rate of 100 on weekdays and 115 on weekends. This is the agreement, correct? So whatever I do, I should not violate this. So if you look at this, this will directly violate. See, whether I have 1 shops or 2 shops, I made the promise, and the promise is not made on which shop, it is made on my services offered. So whether I'm offering it in the first shop or the second shop, it is still my word. Hence B is wrong. He can't do this because jumping the queue is not a service. So you are charging 130 for the same service, right? So that is not that is going to create a problem. Then this is also not a possibility, because if I give 115 rupees today and next is free, average is 67.5, which is not correct. You're giving a huge discount. At the end of the day, what is the meaning of free? Free is a discount only, correct? So that is also ruled out. He should open his shop 2 hours before. This will give you higher revenue, but it will not solve the problem. What is the problem you're trying to solve? Charge higher. The problem in the question is you want to charge higher. So opening the shop early and closing it late will give you more money, but it will not solve the problem that you want. Therefore, A is correct, because you have a deal for 3 services. I can introduce a 4th service and that pricing is mine, because We never agreed that whatever service it is, it's going to be 100. A new service, no price discussion, so I can charge higher. Therefore, A is the safest way where the minimum violation is happening, which is basically in this case 0 violation. Clear? Let's move on. Alright, next question. This should be an easier one. Let's see how many of you get the answer. Okay, some of you are asking why not D? D, I think I answered this, Ansha and Azerix. Why not D? Because if I give you 115 now and 0 next, what is the effective price for you? You're giving free anyway, na? Right? The moment you're giving free, it is 0 price. 0 price means you are decreasing the price. C was not agreed. Let me see. He should charge 130 for those wanting to jump the queue. See, Demux, whatever, you guys come with very funny names. Anyway, see, what does ultimately when I ask you how much did you charge this guy, what is your answer? Will you say 130 or 115? The moment you say 130, it means for the same service that was discussed, you are charging higher. You are violating the agreement. That's why C is not correct. Is not the correct answer. Okay, clear? Now let's move on. Now Vimal relies heavily on a bunch of loyal customers. He is concerned about retaining them. Which of the following options should he choose if he does not want to violate the agreement? So his answer option should retain the 3 points. What are the 3 points? Weekdays 100, weekends 115 for the 3 services. So these are the 3 things that he should not touch. So if you look at option A, he would charge differential rates for loyal customers. The moment you say A, you are violating the condition of cost. So A is gone. B, he should charge the loyal customers lower. Again, B is gone. You cannot touch the pricing. Gone. C, you should make every 3rd visit free for his loyal customers. See, the C here and the D in the previous question are both same and both wrong. Why? Because the moment I give free, you are violating the agreement. That is also gone. He should charge all the agreed upon price. Good. But there is a concern for him. Is it addressing the concern? Because D says that I will charge everybody the same, which anyway you are supposed to do. What is the problem in the question? The question says he is worried. So my answer option should also take care of my worry. Therefore, if you look at E, it says he should allow his loyal customers to jump the queue. Are you charging extra? No. But why should my loyal customers stay with me? Because I'll say, hey, you come to me every time. There are 3 people waiting. Doesn't matter. I will give preference to you. You come. So here, I will still charge you the same amount. But because you are loyal to me, I will make you come and sit fast. Therefore, the loyal customers are rewarded, but not in terms of money. They're rewarded in terms of time, which is also a kind of reward, and that is not breaking any agreements. Hence, answer option is E for elephant. Clear? Okay, we have another passage, a simple part of the simple question in 4 lines. Read it. It's a very, very number centric question. So note down the points here, whatever little points are there. Shivam, why is it unethical? Everybody gets royalty bonus, right? Why is it unethical? It is my prerogative. I can ask anybody to come first. I can say that because you are loyal to me, I am going to cut the line for you. That is the advantage of being loyal to me. There is nothing unethical about it. As a businessman, it is my prerogative because I never said that I am going to treat everybody equally. Why should I treat everybody equally? This is not a hospital. I have not taken a Hippocrates oath. Right? Okay, done. So what is happening here? Life Saving Pharmaceuticals is an Indian-based pharmaceutical company. Their business mostly revolves around a couple of generic drugs and a few patented drugs. LSP operates in 30 odd countries and more than 50% of their sales volume is outside India. So more than 50% of the sales comes from outside India, which means from India it is less than 40%, less than 50%. So more than 40% there, less than 50% from India. That's all the information is. Here is the only question for that particular passage. I'll give you about a minute and a half. It will take you time to understand this and calculate a little bit, but go ahead. It's a very, very tricky question. Let us see how many of you get the right answer. Rishi, if you really do the last 10, 12 years, previous year question papers in XAT, I can assure you, you'll get your 10 marks. 10 net. You can easily get 10 net. Okay, don't worry. If you do all the 10 years papers of the 10, 12 years till 2010 or 2008, in fact, I would say go ahead and do 14 years papers. I think you can easily score 10 plus. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at what the answer could be. So I'm just going to draw a table here. Okay, so this is India and abroad. Then I have generic and patent. Now, firstly, what does the question say? Earlier it said that more than 50% of the total sales, so total, more than 50% of the total sales come from outside. So which means abroad is more than 50%. So India is less than 50%. Correct? This is what is given. Now in this question, what is given to us? In this question it says, if more than 50% of their sales is from generic drugs. So generic drugs is more than 50%. Which of the following options is definitely correct? So if generic is more than 50, then patent should be less than 50%. The same logic, correct? Now you can do this testing that I'm saying for each option, but let's look at the option D, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is the correct answer. If the sales volume of patented drugs is 29%, so patent in India is 29%, then abroad should be how much? The total should be less than 50, so this should be less than 21%. Now again, if India, this is 29%, then this should be less than 21%. Correct? So therefore, this should be greater than 29%. So if the sales volume of the patented drugs is 29%, this is 29% given to you. The sales volume of generic drugs in foreign countries will be about 29%, which is what we got. So if you do the same analysis for each option, you will get A, B, C not fitting your criteria. D is perfectly fitting your criteria, therefore D is correct. So making a small table here and writing the figures correctly will give you the correct answer. Simple, right? Arushi, I am assuming that you're talking about decision making. If you do the last, let's say 12 to 13 years question papers of XAT with understanding of the concepts asked, you will clear your XAT exam once. I can definitely say that. Okay? Yeah, but the most important part is not just solving. You have to understand the concepts asked, because those concepts will come back again. Anyway, let's move on. Clear? The answer is clear? Right, let's move on to the last question. Please read this again. It's a little bit of calculation based question here. Note down the points and we will go ahead and take a look at the questions. Okay, information clear? Let's look at the first question. Here is the first question. Go ahead and try giving an answer in under 1 minute. This should be fairly simple. This should be a fairly simple question. And I want all of you to get the correct answer. So please give me the answers. Anyone? Answers? Very good, guys. I've got a lot of correct answers. The correct answer is option A. Remember, somebody is really gung-ho or he's enthusiastic about an idea. You want the person to become less enthusiastic, which means you have to tell him something negative about the idea. He's already so happy about the idea. If you tell more positive, he's going to become more happy, right? Happier. So you have to tell him something which is a bit negative, negative to the idea. Clearly, B, C, D, E are all positive to the idea. For example, technology investments give higher earnings in future. You should be happy about it, right? C, investment in technology leads to reduction of cost in the long run. If the cost is reduced, I should be happy because more profits. D, technology risk can be controlled. If the risk can be controlled, I should be happy. And E, business is all about taking risky decisions. Again, if the business is all about taking risky decisions, then I should be happy taking a risky decision. So B, C, D, E, all of them are positive to the idea, whereas A is negative to the idea. Why is it negative? Now, to understand why A is the answer, you can in the exam say that B, C, D, E are wrong, therefore A is correct. But now I'm going to explain to you why A is correct, because it is not apparent. So let's go ahead and write some numbers. Your normal, what you're making, revenue, right now is 50K. 50K million. I'm just writing 50K. Now, post investment, the revenue is 150K. Investment cost is 100K. So, what is the net impact? I'm getting extra 50K for 1 year. So, which is the same as what I am getting anyway. So, now the question is, I should be happy if what I'm getting here, or rather the net effect here, is higher than what I'm already getting. After doing all this, I'm still getting the same amount. What's the big deal? The big deal will come from the next year onwards. So, investment is warranted only when benefits outweigh costs. If the benefits are not so guaranteed or they are not really outweighing your costs, that's where the trouble comes. Therefore, A will end up being your correct answer. Clear? So let's move on to the last question for the day, guys. Slightly lengthier. I'll give you 2 minutes here. It's a bit of calculation that you need. Go ahead and try to solve this question. Any answers? Let's go ahead, guys, and do a little bit of calculation here. Firstly, look at this information. Let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit of, go back here and take a look at this. So what are they saying here? If you are investing, you're going to invest this money. If you're going to invest, you're going to invest this money at the beginning of the year, a one-time investment. Let us say you're going to do it at the beginning of the year, right? And this will give you within a year. So it's not, your increase in money is not going to come at the beginning. You invest today and slowly over a period of year, you'll be getting the revenue. So let's first understand the difference between one person. There are two people, right? One, Arbit is saying 5 years and Boring is saying 2 years. Doesn't matter. We'll take one example. Mr. A. Let's take A's example. He's saying that the technology will last for 5 years. Okay, we'll take his word. In his case, let's calculate the loss revenue that is lost. So what is the formula given to us? The formula given to us, revenue that is foregone profits, is what you could have get minus what you would have get, or what you have got. So what you could have get is 150 year 1, year 2 also 150, year 3 also 150, year 4 also 150, year 5 also 150. Okay, what I could have got. What did I get? I got 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 every year. So what is the amount that is lost for me? It is 100 every year. 100 every year. But remember, this is at the end of first year. This is at the end of second year. This is at the end of third year, end of fourth year, and end of fifth year. Now they are saying whatever extra money I could have got, I would have put it in the bank at a rate of 10% per annum. So this extra, if I put it in the bank, I am going from here to here at the end of fifth year. So how many years is it compounding? It is compounding for 4 years, not 5 years, because at the end of first year to the end of fifth year. So second, third, fourth, fifth, only 4 years compounding. So this is 100k into 1.1 to the power of 4 plus. This is going to be compounded for 3 years. So if I take 100k common, it is 1.1 to the power of 3, 1.1 to the power of 2, 1.1 to the power of 1 plus 1.1. Sorry, this will be plus 1. Because the last 100 will remain 100. Because I will be getting that last 100 at the end of fifth year. And that is when I am calculating. So this is the total amount I would have got according to Mr. A. Let's do the same calculation according to Mr. B. Now in terms of Mr. B, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 and year 5, I will get 150, 150, but after that 50, 50, 50. Because remember, B says the technology will be outdated after 2 years. So if it is outdated after 2 years, I will get back, I'll go or revert to my original scenario of 50k only. And in the normal case, I would have got anyway 50. So what is the difference? The difference is 100, 100, 0, 0, 0. So these two hundreds I could have put in the bank. So how much will I get for each of the 100? Same 100k into 1.1 to the power of 4 plus 1.1 to the power of 3. So this difference is what they are asking. When you take this difference, this and this two will get cancelled. You will be left with 100k into 1.1 square plus 1.1 plus 1. So this will be 100k into 1.21 plus 1.1 plus 1. So this is going to be 3.31. So the answer should be 331,000, somewhere close to that. So let's look at which option is close to 331, and that should be your answer. Yeah, 331 is your option B. Right? Very clearly 331 is your answer, option B. So you understood the calculations there, what is happening? So the point you have to be careful about is, if you are starting from a year, the cost is at the beginning, but your revenue will be realized at the end. So you will be putting that money in the bank from the end of the year, not from the beginning of the year. Therefore, you will get your answer as 331,000 million rupees. Navneet Singh, look at the formula. The formula does not talk about investment reduction at all. It only talks about foregone earnings. It is not talking about profits. It is talking about foregone earnings. And the second thing, even if you want to deduct, please remember, let's come back to this page. If you want to deduct, deduct 100,000 and direct minus 100 here also. So minus of minus, this and this anyway will get cancelled, right? So that will not have any effect because that investment is there in both, and both it's done at the same point in time and the same quantity. So $100,000 or a million rupees or whatever that is been put in both the scenarios. So that will not affect your comparison anyway. You getting it? Ishwari? How do you know that only the difference is invested? Ishwari, that is what the question says. The question is what is talking about it. I am not taking that assumption. It is very clearly mentioned. The early if yearly earnings are deposited in a bank at 10% compounded annually. Okay, and they are saying foregone earnings. The meaning of foregone earnings is earnings from business from new technology minus earnings from business without new technology. They already defined it. If you want, you can actually, okay, if you want to go back, you can put the 50,000 also minus, if you want you can put the same thing. How does it matter? You can put this minus 50,000 because this 50 also if you're putting it in the bank, you will be getting the same thing, 1.1 to the power of 4 plus 1.1 to the power of 3 and so on and so forth. This will be 150. Anyway, this entire thing will be common. So 100 minus 50 will become 150 minus 50 will become 100 again. Same calculations. You getting it? Alright my friends, so that brings us to the end of the session today. I hope you enjoyed these questions. So these are the sessions in the near future for you. 27 December, 28, 29, 30. So we have back-to-back sessions from tomorrow. Today we already had a session. We're going to talk about essay writing. It's important for XAT because essay writing has a weightage in your selection. And then we have Cyril sir coming with geometry and numbers. Then we have again Savitri ma'am coming back with essay writing for essentials. This essay writing will be useful for your WAT preparation also if you already got some good calls or rather got a good percentile in your CAT. And then we have one more English faculty, Mr. Vikrant, talking about critical reasoning. Okay, so all these sessions are going to be coming for you back to back in the next 4 days. So don't miss us. Catch us every day at 7 p.m. We're going to bring a load of sessions to you. All right. Thank you, my friends. Have a wonderful evening and all the very best for your XAT exam.